Want to soar? Get a mentor. Hey, it's Nina Carmichael, and we make these videos because you're the probably most ambitious person in your circle, and you get a push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, on the difference between successful people and poor people. Enjoy! Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Have a good morning routine.
Nobody wakes up every day and says, "This is gonna be the greatest day ever." Not Dan Locke, not Evan Carmichael, not Tony Robbins, nobody. You wake up and you're tired and you have stuff in your eyes and you have lines on your face from the pillows. The difference between successful people is that they demand excellence from themselves through the habits and routines that they do daily. The problem is that thinking that these people are different, that if you're not waking up with tons of motivation ready to take on the day, that something is wrong with you. The only thing that's wrong with you is you don't have the habits that set you up for success every single day, and today I want to change that. So I have a 5S morning routine that I go through every single day that sets me up for success, that demands excellence. I'm going to share with you guys today. The first S is sing. The fastest way to change your state is to put on music. The fastest way to go from feeling low energy, tired, bored, into an energy of I am ready to go is music. Put on the song, not that makes you feel the current way that you're feeling. This is where most people mess up. You put on music for how you're currently feeling. If you're feeling really sad and low energy, you're gonna put on really mellow, slow music. What does that do? It keeps you in the same state that you're in. It keeps you exactly where you are. What you want to do is put on the music for how you want to feel. And so I have a playlist on my main channel called the Believe playlist, which is the songs that I listen to. These are the songs that I listen to every day. They may work for you, they may not work for you. There's no perfect song for everybody. This is the perfect song for you. And so build a playlist of the songs that make you come alive. Here's the criteria. If this song came on, it would force you to start moving. If the song came on, you find yourself doing this. If the song came on, you would get out of your chair and want to move around. Doesn't mean you're gonna dance like crazy. Doesn't mean you're gonna start belting out the lyrics. That may be you, awesome. But if you're a little more introverted or don't like to dance, something that would make you move, something that would get you at least in your chair doing this, that's what I want. Make a playlist and put that on as the first thing that you do every single morning. It'll make a huge difference to setting the tone, changing your state, and giving you energy and momentum to start the day. S number 2 is sun. I like getting outside. I think there's something about getting outside of your home, of your condo, your apartment, getting outside, getting some fresh air, just being out in nature makes a big difference. Getting some vitamins on your face from the sun outside, but also signifying that you're leaving your bedroom, you're leaving the condo, the apartment, the home, you're leaving what happened last night, and you're ready to go off and start the day. This is especially important if you're working from home, because it's easy to have your office right next to your bedroom, or maybe your office is your bedroom, and carry that bedroom energy, that tired, I just woke up, I want to stay in bed, I want to sleep energy into your work, and you won't do great things if that's the energy you're carrying to your work. So having some kind of ritual that splits up sleeping energy to I'm ready to go energy makes a big difference, and I find the easiest way to do it is to get outside and get some sun. Bonus points if you're in a condo or apartment to take the stairs instead of the elevator. S number 3 is SOAR, and this is the most important thing for me. If you only take one of the 5, I think this is the most important one to take. What is the thing that makes you soar every day? What's the thing that makes you feel alive, bold, confident? What is that? And put it into your morning routine. At some point in your life, you felt bold. You felt unstoppable. You felt confident. It's happened to everybody. The problem is you don't feel that way consistently every day. You go through these bursts, these moments of, man, I could do such amazing things, but then the next day you wake up and you're a different person. You're back to the, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know. Who am I to go do this crazy thing? That's the problem. So whatever the thing is that makes you feel like you can come alive, that gives you that boldness and confidence, plan it with intention every single day into your morning routine. For me, what I do is I record a message on my phone to Instagram, to my stories, I put it to LinkedIn and Twitter. Right now I'm putting it everywhere, but I need to make a message. So I think of somebody that I helped yesterday. I think of somebody who commented on a video, who I met in person, who I coached on my Instagram Live, somebody that I helped yesterday. And then I make a message channeling that person. I won't say the person's name, but I have them in my head that I need to remind myself that the work that I do is important. It's easy to get lost in the numbers. It's hard to imagine that 200,000 to 300,000 people watched my videos yesterday. That's crazy. It's a wild number, right? It's wild. It's hard to, like, what does that even mean? I don't know. I'm just sitting here talking to a camera in my office, and 200,000 to 300,000 people are watching my videos. It's crazy. I need to think down to the actual person. I need to think about an individual, that this matters to somebody, that the work I do really means something to them. And then I need to record a message and share it. That helps me soar, and I do it every day. What is the thing for you? What makes you soar? Maybe it's watching the 254 series that I put up every day. Maybe it's watching the espresso videos like this that I put up every day. And some people, every day, this is part of their morning routine, is watching an espresso video, and I'm humbled to be part of your morning routine. For other people, it might be meditating, it might be watching a video, it might be reading a book, listening to a podcast. I don't care what the thing is, but you have felt bold, unstoppable, and confident at some point in your life. What led you to feeling that way, and then demanded of yourself every day by putting it into your morning routine? The third S is SOAR. It's the most important one. The fourth S for me is sweat. This is just about being healthy, having a healthy lifestyle, and I want to do something that makes me sweat. So whether it's a HIIT workout, a cardio workout, a weights workout, I put that into my daily routine because I want to bust a sweat and I want to stay healthy into my 40s, which is coming up, and then into my 50s and beyond. And then the last S for me is scare. I want to do something every day that scares me. What I'm doing right now is I take a cold shower. So after sweating, I need to have a shower. Don't want to show up to work all smelly. And so I hop in the shower, but right away start turning it colder and colder and colder and colder and colder. And then right at the very end, I go all the way cold and I freeze. And even just thinking of it right now, it sucks, which is the best. Right? You want to do the thing that scares you every day. You're teaching yourself that I do scary things. So whatever is scary for you, whether it's taking a cold shower, whether it's making a phone call, whether it's sending an email, making a video and posting it, doing scary things, teaching yourself, getting that out of the way right from the beginning, I find really helps me.
Rule number 2, get excuses out of your way.
Most people focus on the problem instead of the solution, and that is why they fail. I like to say that there are a million reasons why your ideas will never work out and only 8 why they will. Either way, you're right. So it's better to focus on the 8. Your heroes, the people that you look up to, the people that you love and want to be like, right? Your heroes all succeeded with less than what you currently have right now. If they can all do it, so can you. The only thing in your way are your excuses. So one of the things that I love most about both my wife and my team is that they're always willing to find a way. One of the things that Nina loves most about herself, I had her fill out this form maybe 2 years ago of like, what do you love most about yourself? And at the top was, she's a fast learner. She loves learning new things. She loves taking on new challenges. And I love that. I love that about her. And I love that in people. I think you should be a fast learner. I think you should love learning. I think you should always be taking on new opportunities. Right now on my YouTube channel, I've split up my channel into 8 or 9 different channels. And then just recently I split them up again where we launched a top 10 channel just for the top 10 videos. So the top 10 videos aren't on my main channel anymore. And then we're doing an everything channel where if you just want all the content, it's all on one spot. So it's chaos, it's crazy. My whole team has to be restructured and everybody's taking on new projects and responsibilities. And we were supposed to have a 1-month transition phase to do it. That was the recommendation. That was the aggressive recommendation, is to have a 1-month transition period. And for me, 1 month just is death. It's just death. I mean, I said, oh, okay, great, 1 month. But then as I'm into it, on the Tuesday of like the first week, like, guys, we need to launch like this weekend. We need to launch this weekend. Let's go, right? And there's so many reasons why it's not going to work, and there's so many problems, and yes, we're going to make so many mistakes, and people aren't trained properly, and there's more work, and we need to, we figure out who wants to do what and how. So many issues. Awesome. Let's go. I think about Ray, for example, on my team, who has been doing all these thumbnails. So I have a set design for my top 10 rules thumbnails that people love, and it's been going like that for years. And I've always been on my team to say, I don't care that everybody thinks our thumbnails are great. They can be better. How do we make them better? And so finally, after years of testing, we finally found the format that would win, that would beat our original thumbnails. And there's minor differences. We zoom in on the face, we got rid of the second logo, make the text bigger, minor differences. And then Ray's been going back and updating split tests, doing against our old videos. And we have 1,400 different split tests on our videos. It's crazy. I think I split test more than anybody on YouTube. So he's going back and updating all the old thumbnails and trying to prove a winner each time. And he's maybe, I don't know, halfway through. Think about it, how many videos we have on the channel. We've got 6,000 videos. A lot of them are top 10s. Now with this change, I found a new format. We found a new format, a new thumbnail, different color scheme, different text, different pictures, different logo, new thumbnail format, and we found that it's working. And so I said, Ray, I know you just changed all the thumbnails. We got to do it again. He's like, this is so exciting. Let's go. Like, I love this guy so much, right? Where most people, what are they're going to complain. They're going to say, I just did all this work on this other thing, right? You don't want to be around people like that, and you definitely don't want to be that. For so many people, the problem is for so many people, that's you. That's not even people around you. That's you. You're thinking about all the sunk costs that you put into something. You're thinking about, I invested so much into this thing, and now you want me to shift everything? Yep. You need to be on the yep side now. You need to adopt that kind of mindset, that kind of personality. That just because I worked before, it doesn't mean it's gonna keep working. You find something new, it's better. Let's go. This is what the whole game is about. So how do you do it? How do you be more resourceful? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is focus on the 8. So I said at the beginning, there are a million reasons why it's not gonna work out. And if you talk to your friends and family and social media, they'll find a million more reasons why it's not gonna work out. Great, there's a million reasons why it's not gonna work out. Now there's 2 million, and there's 8 while it will. Only focus on the 8. Focus on the 8. Be rigid, be disciplined. Stop thinking about, those negative things are still there. Awesome. Those reasons, sure, are awesome. Great. I'm only focused on the 8. I don't care about all the reasons why it's not gonna work out. That's where most of the world lives. That's the land of negativity. I'm here, and it's a small lane. It's easier. There's only 8 reasons why I'm gonna win. I'm just gonna pick those 8 and focus on that. That's it, choose. It's a choice. You're right either way, right? You are right. If you say, I'm not gonna win because I don't have the education and the resources and the money and the parents, and you're right. You've already decided, you're right. Yes, absolutely, you're right. But people with less resources, less connections, less ideas, less talent, less skills than you, they've done it. You're just full of excuses. If you want to believe the excuses, then you have already lost. If you want to buy into the 8 reasons why you're going to win and surround yourself with your heroes who have done it, and that's a daily source of inspiration for you to keep going off and doing it, then you will win. Focus on the 8, not the million. Number 2 is model success. This is what really helped me. I mean, now I have all these channels and we're modeling success all day long, and I've built an entire business around this, but this is the thing that saved my business from the first start, right? Like Bill Gates, how he built Microsoft saved my company, right? Learning from his story made me finally start to have some success in my business. And then from there, every morning I would read a little bit about a successful entrepreneur. Now I'd much rather watch a video than read, but hack your own learning style. Maybe you prefer to listen to podcasts. I listen to 0 podcasts because I'm not an auditory learner. Learning how to model success, finding people who've done the thing that you want to do does 2 things. 1, it gives you hope. Seeing what they came from. Like, go look at Oprah's story. Seeing what she came from. And then for you to say that you have less resources, less available to you than Oprah did at the time that she was growing up is ludicrous, is crazy. You're way more equipped just because you have the internet than Oprah ever did when she was getting started. But maybe you hate Oprah. Awesome, great. Who do you want to learn from? Jeff Bezos, awesome. Go look at his story. Look at the people who you look up to, your heroes. Study them. Not how they make an extra $1 million now, but 0 to 1. How did they get started? What did they have to go through? Learn from them. Study them. And it gives you inspiration to know that it's possible, and it gives you strategies. Because chances are what worked for them could also work for you. It won't work for you 100%. It's like trying on this cowboy hat that's just a little bit too oversized. And you gotta tweak it and take in some of the sides, maybe add a little bit more stitch in somewhere so that it fits. But modeling success takes you 80% of the way. You don't have to come up with all the genius ideas yourself. The model's been proven. Go out, copy it, apply it to yourself, and start winning. And step number 3 is tell yourself this is just a warm-up. I love this strategy. I think this is one of the greatest things you can ever do for your self-confidence, self-love, self-respect, is whenever it's difficult, whenever it's hard, whenever you're at your breaking point, whenever you're like, oh, I don't know if I can keep going, you tell yourself, this is just the warm-up. This is just a warm-up. I'm capable of way more than this. And what it does is it actually tricks your brain a little bit to believe in it. And now you've just broken through a comfort zone. Now you've broken through to another level of excellence. You've just raised your standards a little bit higher. It's extremely powerful. So let's think about it. If that thing that is all consuming, all encompassing, is all you're capable of doing right now, that's a problem. That means you're never gonna grow beyond this thing, right? You're never gonna scale and become something bigger because this is the max that you're capable of doing. And I remember talking to Alex, who helps me run Toronto Dance Salsa, and what he was stressing out about. And we have big ambitions for this business. We have big ambitions for where Toronto Dance Salsa needs to be, and Alex needs to be the guy to lead it. If this little thing that feels all encompassing, right? But if this little thing owns you, you're never gonna get here. So tell yourself, this is just a warm-up. I'm capable of way more than this. Way more than this. Is the beginning. This is baby steps. I'm way stronger than this. Tell yourself that. Say it out loud. Tell yourself, this is just a warm-up. Like that. Put your hand down. It's just a warm-up. Say that 3 times and see how you feel. And then get to work, because you know what? It is just a warm-up and you're capable of way more. Let's go.
Rule number 3, develop new skills.
You will never lose in life if you have valuable skills. You won't lose your house. You won't lose your car. You won't lose your clients if you have a skill that brings people value. The economy can collapse. The algorithms can change. But as long as you have a skill that solves problems for people, you will be safe. So I'm seeing this a lot in the YouTube world now. I have a new course out helping people get to 1 million subscribers on YouTube. We can link up the description there if you want in. And people are saying, well, should I still do YouTube? Is it too late? Like YouTube won't be here in 5 years or 10 years, or maybe it's gonna be the next thing I should hop on. It's not about the platform. Like right now, it's winning the platform that is currently winning. You need to crush it, right? Like YouTube should be your home. If you're trying to make an impact, you're trying to be a thought leader, you have a message to spread, YouTube has to be your #1 place. It just has to be right now. Otherwise, you're not making a smart decision. But whether YouTube is still around in 20 years, 5 years, doesn't matter. Because the skill set that you learn, you can take anywhere. The ability to communicate, you could take to any platform. You could take to the next thing. I don't anticipate YouTube still being around in 20 years, but my ability to make videos, talk into a lens, that's not gonna go away. That can serve me for life, right? Whether that's VR Evan or hologram Evan, you know, coming into your living room, that's gonna be me. That's gonna be amazing. I'm pumped. I look forward to it. Any algorithm change that people are freaking out about, anybody who's complaining about the economy going down or the algorithm changing, you've already lost. That's a losing mindset. When I was first starting my YouTube channel, I always saw the algorithm as a chance to win, right? You should see, if you're a small creator on any platform, YouTube, Instagram, anything, and the algorithm shifts, that's your greatest advantage. You should be cheering. You should want more algorithm changes. If you look at a traditional, established, boring market, it's hard to win. Real estate could be hard to win, right? Financial markets can be hard to win. It's not that it's not possible, it's just hard to win because there's a lot of people who have decades of experience and no more than you, and it's hard to close that gap of experience. With social media, with YouTube, every time there's a big algorithm change, the people who are experts at the last thing, they're crying instead of adjusting. That's how you win. That's how you get ahead of them. That's how you become the top dog, is because you're gonna go learn the new algorithm when everybody is wishing and hoping that the old algorithm comes back. And this happens for every platform. It happened for Facebook. Every time they changed your algorithm or updated the feed and what was shown there, people always freak out and complain, and they want petitions and like, let's go back to how it used to be. Don't sign those petitions. Don't jump on that bandwagon. That is loser thinking. Never, ever, 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 ever do that. It's loser thinking, and that's how most people think. That's a mindset shift that I want to make for the collective, but more importantly for you. That whenever there's a big change, embrace it, go all in on it, learn it. That's how you're gonna leapfrog everybody else. So the faster the rate of change, the more you should be cheering. I still get pumped for an algorithm change. Me, I mean, now I'm closer to the top, right? I mean, I don't know what the top is. I got 2 million subscribers and 300 million views and all these channels. I still love it. Anytime an algorithm change comes out, I'm still pumped. Train yourself. Like a change is coming, I'm pumped. Get excited. Because there's still people who are ahead of me, or even the people below me that I'm competing with for attention and for space. If they're sitting there complaining about how it's changed and they're dropping in their views, awesome. I'll pick up those views because I'm gonna learn what the new algorithm is all about. Same thing with the economy. When the economy crashes, everybody who's complaining about how it used to be, they're not gonna win. It's comforting to join a club and wish things to be how they used to be, but we're not going back to that. So the faster you realize that and make improvements, the faster you can learn and actually build a great business. Some of the greatest businesses in the world were built in recession, in depression. That could be you if you decide to be. Let's hop back to skills for a second. I look at Jake Paul, Logan Paul. They started on Vine, right? Vine was their claim to fame. They had tons of success in making these super short videos. Vine gets shut down, right? Boom, gone. This is don't put all your eggs in one basket. I think that's loser thinking too. It's loser thinking. They went all in on Vine and then Vine got shut down. Oh no. What did they do? They moved to YouTube and started crushing it. Millions of subscribers. Look at their growth on YouTube over the past, 2 years, 3 years. Blew up. Why? They didn't just come out of nowhere. They had the skill set. They had the skill set that they learned from doing the thing, right? The skill set to make a good video, they then brought to a new platform. If YouTube goes away, you're learning the skill set of how to communicate, how to make great videos that whatever comes next. People are freaking out about the FTC coming in and COPPA on YouTube. Okay, so if kids aren't able to get content on YouTube, where are they gonna go? Go be there. Instead of trying to fight what is already happening, go be at the place where the kids are gonna be. Embrace the change. That's where you can win. When everybody else is fighting and angry and screaming and yelling and complaining and wishing that it used to be or quitting the platform and getting upset, go be where they're gonna be. It's easy, it's a simple win. Most people don't have that mindset. It's why most people lose. It's why most businesses can't evolve. Most businesses shut down. It's people very rarely transition from one platform to another, from one business to another, even though they have the skill sets and capabilities to do so because they don't have the mindset to do so. People who crushed MySpace, very few of them are still around on different platforms. Look at Hollywood. The Rock is doing it. Will Smith is doing it, moving from Hollywood films to YouTube. Where's Brad Pitt? Where's George Clooney? Like, they're in a dying industry. They should be embracing YouTube. They don't want to. They have the skills. They have the skills. It's transferable. You don't think George Clooney could come in and crush YouTube if he wanted to? Of course he could. Calling you out, George Clooney. Let's go. Make it happen. Right? It's just about picking up the skill set. That will keep you safe in any environment. But it's also having a mindset to follow through and try the new things instead of complaining about the changes that are currently happening. So how can you do it? I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step 1 is make sure your actions map to your ambitions. This will help you determine what skill set you need. What are your ambitions? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want out of life? There's so many ways to win. You know, if you've gone through the who, why, how process, you know what your purpose is, you know what you're trying to accomplish, you've read Built to Serve, you understand the concept, you figure out your purpose, great. To actually go off and accomplish it, what are the skill sets that you actually need? What are the skill sets you need to develop? Even if you suck at it, if you're not naturally good at it. I'm introverted. I'm not naturally good in front of the camera. It took me 6,000 videos to get here. Right? I got better with practice and repetition and dedication and hard work and all of that. You can too. What are the skill sets that you need to acquire to get the life that you want? And then you can start working on them. So first step is figure out how do you map your actions to your ambitions. Second step is to learn to tell yourself that it's the best. It's the best. It's the best. Every time something negative is happening to you, the economy is crashing, an algorithm is changing, a new competitor comes in, something negative is happening, you tell yourself it's the best. This is the best. This is my chance to prove to myself and the world what I'm made of. When an algorithm changes and you say it's the best, you're gonna find a new solution. If you sit there and complain and get negative and toxic, you're not gonna find a new solution. The best part of saying it's the best is it shifts your mindset from one of complaining and lack of resourcefulness to one of ultimate resources. To be able to say, I'm gonna go solve this thing. Let's go. It shifts your mindset. So many people get stuck in the negativity. Even if you're an entrepreneur and you're positive and optimistic and have great hopes for the future and where you want to go, if you spend all this time and energy building up this thing and then it gets taken away from you, it's really hard to say this is the best. But that's what you need to do. Because otherwise you spend the rest of your life living off of past glory. To say, well, this is what I used to be and it was all taken away from me and now life sucks. Like, you want the next 40 years of your life to be thinking like that? No. It's the best. The economy crashes, it's the best. You're gonna crush it. Algorithm changes, it's the best. You're gonna crush it. New competitor comes in, it's the best. You're gonna crush it, right? You grow through difficult times. You get better through difficult times. You don't wanna do the same thing over and over and over and over again. That's boring. That's photocopying your life. That's not what you want. You wanna grow, you wanna progress. Self-confidence, self-love, all of it comes from doing difficult things. By telling yourself that when that difficult thing comes, it's the best. This is my chance to rise up and show myself and the world what I'm capable of, as opposed to saying, this sucks, and sit in negativity all day, all week, all month, all year, all decade. And step number 3 is understanding that the quantity leads to the quality. We figured out what our skill is that we want to get good at, right? We understand that it's the best, that when other people are complaining, we're going to rise up and improve our skills and get better at the thing, because that's how we're going to win. And now number 3 is the practice, the daily grind, the constant improvement. I've done 6,000 videos. Is how I got better at this. The thing that you want to get great at, you have to do a lot of. You're going to suck at the beginning. You're not going to have any quality. That's okay. That's great. It's the best, right? But then through repetition, through practice, through daily hustle, attacking the thing that you love doing, even though other people see it as work and torture, you love it. You're getting better at it. That's how you're going to improve your skills. Every skill set is possible to acquire. It's just a skill. Doesn't mean you suck as a human. It just means you don't have the skill set yet. How do you get the skill set? By practicing. The quantity leads to the quality. And so back to point number 1 of your actions mapped to your ambitions. How much are you practicing? You want to acquire the skill set. How much time are you actually spending on that skill set? You want to be a great editor? Great. How much time are you spending editing? You want to be a great piano player? How much time are you spending piano? Right? You might have some natural ability for it. Awesome. And if you don't, I had no natural ability to be good in front of the camera. Go back and watch my first videos. You'll see. You'll see how much I sucked. No natural ability. 0. It took a long time. Practice, dedication, hard work, right? Actions mapped to your ambitions by putting the quantity that leads to the quality. How much are you doing? Show me your calendar. Show yourself your calendar. Pull up your calendar. Look at your next week. Look at your next month. That skill that you want to acquire, that's going to save you from the recession, from the algorithm change, that's going to bring people value, that skill that you need to acquire, it's going to pay you. How much time are you spending developing it? And if it's not a lot, if it's not sometime every day, you got to change your mindset. You got to change your calendar. You need to change your actions. Because right now, if that's you, your actions are not mapping to your ambitions. I want you to win. You need to get the skill sets. That's the path.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, I've designed a special free training to help you do it. The science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action to build a new habit. And I want that for you. I want you to build the habit of self-belief. So what I'm going to do is email you every day for 254 days a link to an unlisted video that will shift your belief forward. To get on it for free, the link to join is in the description below.
Find whatever the smallest first step is, and then the smallest next step is, and continue to build those steps. And when you look back, you'll have realized that you made some pretty significant progress. You can use rejection as fuel to help you go off and do something bigger, and motivation to, I'm going to prove them wrong. It's got to be your life's work. If you only had to write one book ever in your life, this is it, and it's got to be amazing.
Rule number 4, raise your standards.
The difference in people is their standards. The world is full of people who started with less than what you already have right now, and they're winning. And too many people are out there complaining. Complaining that you don't have the money, that you don't have the time, that you don't have the experience, that you don't have the personality for it. All legitimate, logical reasons. But others have done it with those very same circumstances as you, with worse circumstances than you. The difference is they have a higher standard for themselves. And today, we're gonna raise yours. One of the things I'm most proud about for myself, why do I love Evan Carmichael, is because when I say I'm gonna do something, I do it, especially when it gets hard. Like, it doesn't count until it gets hard. And I'm doing it not just for other people. I'm doing it not just because I promised you that I would show up. I'm doing it for myself because I said I was gonna do something and then I go off and do it. This is the foundation of self-esteem, of self-confidence, of self-love, doing it when you say you're gonna do it. And so on Monday, I usually have a 2-hour walking meeting with Alex. Alex helps me run Toronto Dance Salsa. He comes over, Monday's my mentoring day, and we'll usually go for a 2-hour walk around the city. And it's starting to get cold. You know, it's winter time here, it's getting cold. And so we bundle up and we go for our 2-hour walk while we talk and while we meet. I'm trying to do walking meetings more, just for my own health and just for the challenge of it, because it's easy to start something like that in the spring or in the summer. It's really hard to do it when it's in the winter and you live in Toronto, Canada, and it's snowing and cold, right? So this Monday, Alex was sick. He still came in, he was sick, he was running a bit of a fever, not crazy sick, but just sick. And Nina, my wife, super caring, said, hey, maybe you shouldn't go for a walk outside. And my heart's just like, come on, no, We have to. I said I was gonna do it, right? I have to, for myself, I have to go on the walk. Like, I'll go on the walk and leave Alex at my place and, and just film the meeting with him. But we came up with a different solution, which was, I live in a condo, we have a gym in my condo, and we went down to the condo gym and I walked on the treadmill while he stood or sat next to me for 2 hours. Because I said that I was gonna do it. How important is that 1-2 hour walk? Not much. Right? In itself, not much. Am I gonna get healthy from doing that one walk? No. Am I gonna lose weight by doing that one walk? No. I'm gonna have so much more mental clarity by doing that one walk? Of course not. But it's the whole game, because you're teaching yourself that you follow through. You're teaching yourself that you have high standards. You're teaching yourself that when you say you're gonna do something, you follow through, because life is coming for you with a ton of roadblocks. Life is gonna throw tons of curveballs at you. If you can only do the thing that you said you were gonna do when it's easy and the path is perfectly clear, you're never gonna do it. This is why people don't stay consistent, because as soon as life gets hard, you let yourself off the hook. You allow your standards to drop, to say, oh, it's okay. Yeah, of course I can't go for a walk because Alex is sick. Right? And there are definitely legitimate times when you should let yourself off the hook. If I was dying in bed with a fever and I couldn't get out of bed, I wouldn't go for the walk. That makes sense. Don't be stupid. There's times when you need to be gentle on yourself. But more often than not, we are too gentle on ourselves when we shouldn't be. I could have done the walk, and we did it. We did it in the gym downstairs, and Alex stood next to me and sat next to me and didn't have to go outside and get the cold on him, and I still got my walk in, right? And I feel great about it. Because I did it when it was hard, because here's this obstacle that life's throwing at me. Here's an easy way when everybody around me is saying, you don't have to go off and do it. And a little tiny voice inside my own head saying, okay, well, here's a chance. You don't have to do it. Like, no, be quiet, voice. I'm doing it. We're finding a solution. Let's go. And the solution is gonna walk on the treadmill downstairs. So how can you start raising your standards for yourself? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is building credibility with yourself. This is so important. This is the starting point. This is the foundation. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. It starts with getting up in the morning. Most people, the first thing they do is they hit the alarm clock, right? You snooze. That's the very first thing. And I think that's a mental trap. I think every time you hit the snooze button, you're starting your day telling yourself that you suck. The very last thing you did last night was say, I'm gonna wake up at whatever clock in the morning tomorrow. And the very first thing you do in the morning is say, I'm not gonna hit my goal. Right? That is not what you want to train yourself to do. That is teaching yourself from the very first second that you wake up, right? The second you wake up, you're telling yourself, I suck, I'm not going to hit my goal. Stop doing that. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. You do it. You do it. Even if it's a small version of it, you still do it. If you said you're going to do push-ups every day and you feel really sick, do 2 push-ups just to show yourself that you do it. You have to set goals and then follow through. So be very careful, very intentional about the goals that you set for yourself. And then once you do, you have to follow through. You have to put your best effort on accomplishing that goal for the day, because that's where your self-love comes from. Your self-love comes from doing difficult things. It comes from setting goals, and then once it gets difficult, you still following through. That's how you build credibility with yourself, because the challenge is, if you snooze, if you let yourself off the hook, if you don't go for the walk, if you don't do the thing as soon as it gets a little tiny bit hard, the next time you set a goal, you're gonna get excited and say, I'm gonna do this goal. This is my next goal. I'm pumped up. And then the next day you're gonna say, I'm not gonna do that. Because you don't do any of your goals. Because you've taught yourself that you set goals and don't follow through. This is the starting point. Set fewer goals. And once you set them, you have to follow through. Number 2 is remember your big why and little why. This is what helps keep you on track. Your big why is your big vision for what you're trying to accomplish, the big mission that you're on. I want to solve the world's biggest problem. You know, I want people to believe in themselves more, right? It's what I'm doing for the rest of my life. And sometimes that's motivating and inspiring and amazing and gets me going and wants me to raise my standards to get there. And sometimes it seems too big. And so the little why is, I don't know how I can help 1 billion people, but I help 1 person, I help 2 people. I can go to my comments and see that I help some people and they're leaving me feedback. You guys, you beautiful people, leave me feedback on my videos, right? And remembering that the work that you do is important. If you felt every day that you woke up and you were doing work that was important, you're built to serve, right? It was meaningful to people. It was helping people. The work that you did matters. It would force you to raise your standards. And you do that by remembering your big why, the mission you're trying to take on, and the little why of feeling like I helped 1 person. And sometimes that big why is amazing and that's all you need. But when that feels like it's too big, go back to the little why and remember that you helped at least 1 person. You made a difference in their lives, and you can do it again today when you raise your standards. And step number 3 is have an environment of excellence. The environment that you create for yourself really matters because you set it up once, right? This office that I'm in, this is my office, right? I walk in here every day is what I look at. This might be really inspiring to you or it may mean nothing to you, right? All these pictures, they mean something to me. My Doritos bag that is not here anymore because I have my new book, Built to Serve. Pre-order your copy. Links in the description. Go get it. You know, my Doritos bag that was here. But even this book, I'm proud of this book, right? The awards that I have down here. Everything that's in my office was designed. Even the clothes that I'm wearing and the things that's on my desktop background and my cell phone background, right? It's designed with intention. The beauty of having something like this is you set it up once. I printed these pictures off once, I put them up on my wall, and every day I walk in, I've got Steve Jobs staring me down and Ipa Giannini staring me down, and my parents looking at me as soon as I walk in the door, and Howard Schultz and Kanye West, they're looking at me. They're inspiring me on a daily basis. I pull up my phone and I look at that message on my phone and my desktop, all of it, right? Design your environment. Ask yourself, what's in your environment, is it allowing you to be excellent? Is it pulling you up to a higher standard? And if it's yes, amazing, keep doing it. If it's no, then fix it. Fix it. Even putting this on every day makes me feel like a superhero. That may sound silly, ridiculous, crazy to you. Awesome, go do you, right? For me, it's what I like to do. This is what gets me feeling amazing. So whatever it is that pulls you up to a higher standard, that's in your environment, that you're doing daily, that you're probably just mailing in and just running through the routine of, right? Change it. Ask yourself, what does an excellent environment look like for you? What do you need to have on your body, in your environment, on your walls, on your backgrounds, right? Your screens. What do you need to have there that when you see it, it's going to remind you of who you are and who you want to be and the person that needs to grow to accomplish the goals that you have for yourself. Create an environment of excellence.
Rule number 5, do scary things.
Doing what you are afraid of is your path to success. Every time you take on something new that scares you, that pushes your comfort zone, that requires you to stretch, on the other side of that scary thing is the new you who is now capable of more. Most people, they shrink from scary things because they're scary. But if you want to win, if you want to hit your ambitious goals, then you have to teach yourself that you do scary things. So I recently came back from 2 pretty significant speaking gigs in my career as I'm building up and speaking on bigger stages. The first was when I was speaking at Brendan Burchard's event, and it's his Growth.com event, and Brendan, one of the greatest speakers in the world, invited me to come and talk to his group of a couple thousand people. And then I went to Ed Milet's event just recently in Whistler. And this is a smaller group, 100 so people, but they pay $60,000 a year to be a part of his program. And so they're coming to learn from the best. He sandwiched me between David Goggins and Peyton Manning. So it's David Goggins, and then me, and then Peyton Manning. That was the lineup. And so when I was backstage at the Brendan event, I remember moments before going on stage, I was the most scared that I'd been in a long time. The most nervous, the most anxious. I was afraid of disappointing people. My biggest fear is letting people down. My biggest fear is that I'm going to let Brendan down and Dean Graziosi, who they both brought me there. And I was just going to suck on stage. That was my biggest fear. And so I had a mini panic attack backstage. 5 minutes before going up, I have this mini panic attack and I'm forgetting what I'm going to say. I imagine myself going on stage and just blanking out. And I tell myself, I'm Evan Carmichael. I do difficult things. I love difficult things. If I don't do difficult things, I'm never going to accomplish great things. So I have to do difficult things. I love it. I thrive on difficult things. And then I remembered what I was going to say. And then I went out and I did my thing. And now when I went to Ed's event, I wasn't as nervous. I wasn't as afraid. I was still scared. I was still afraid of letting down Ed Milet, letting down Andy Frisella, who they both brought me there, being between David Goggins and Peyton Manning and just being outshone. Everybody knows them. They may not know me. All of it, all of the fears and doubts, but less than what I had at Brendan's event. Not because it wasn't as big a deal, but because I had just done it. Because speaking on stage to a couple thousand people at Brendan's event and having that panic attack and getting through it changed who I was, made me stronger, made me more capable of doing the next thing. And the next thing was Ed's thing. And so if I hadn't gone to Brendan's, I would be terrified going to Ed's thing. So every time you take on these difficult challenges,
you might have the panic attack. You might have the anxiety inside you. You might have that little voice to say, you can't do it. What if you fail? What if you disappoint people? What if you lose respect? What if it doesn't work out? But you know what's worse? You know what's worse than going up and failing? Not trying. Not doing it. Finding some reason, finding some excuse to say you're sick, you're busy, you can't make it. But in the back of your head, you know you were just afraid. And the last thing you want to do is teach yourself that when you are afraid, that when you have an opportunity in front of you and you're afraid to do it, that you say no. You don't want to teach yourself that. You teach yourself the opposite. That when you're afraid, that when there's something in front of you that you want to do, but you're scared, you're anxious, you're worried about letting people down, that you jump in and you say, I'm all in because I do scary things. So how do you do it? I'm going to give you a 3-step process I think will help. Step number 1 is ask yourself, if you could not fail. If you could not fail, what would you do? If you could not fail, what would you do? What would you do? Just blue sky. You know you're not going to fail. What would you do? For me, I'd be speaking on bigger stages. I'd be speaking more often, be speaking on bigger stages. And that's now become, even asking that question sets into motion action, right? Now my goal is to speak on 2 stages a month. And so traveling to speak on 2 different stages every month and putting that plan into action for the next 6 to 12 months, right? If you knew that you could not fail, what would you do? Eliminate the risk of failure, right? Eliminate, because that's how we'll default back to. Like, oh, I'd love to do that, but right? But I might fail, but this is gonna happen. Then you get back into negative small thinking mode. Just for 2 minutes, forget about that stuff. For 2 minutes, let yourself dream again. And imagine, if you could not fail, what would you do? Step number 2, expect to fail. Expect to fail. Expect to suck, especially if it's your first time. If it's your first time speaking on stage, for example, you're not going to be great. You're not going to be Les Brown. You're not going to be Tony Robbins. You're not going to be Brendan Burchard. You're not going to be great. It's your first time. Your first video, you're not going to be great. It's why I kept my first video up on my channel too. You can go back and watch it. The first time you do it, you're not going to be great. This is one of the biggest fallacies in human thinking is we expect to be great the first time we do something. And if we're not great, we don't do it anymore. As kids, we learn that when we fail, we get up and we try again. As adults, though, we're so terrified of failing that we don't try most things. And then we have this constant thought in our mind that we know we're capable of more, but we're too afraid to go off and start. And so expect to fail. Step 1 is know that you're not going to fail. Great. That gives you the freedom to dream, to do the thing that you actually want to do and not get in your own way anymore with your thinking. But step 2 is then you expect to fail. Micro, not macro, right? If you keep going, if you keep doing it, you keep making videos, you keep doing your speeches, you keep reaching out, you're going to win. But the first time, expect to fail. Reduce the expectation that your first time of anything has to be amazing. And then step 3 is tie your self-worth to the effort. So many people tie their self-worth to the result instead of the effort, right? Did I give a good result? Did I give a good speech? Did I give a good video? Did I get a result for my customer, right? Did it work? Did I win that race? Did I XYZ, right? You're tying your self-worth to the result. What you want to do is tie it to the effort. So that even if you go up on stage and suck, you tell yourself, I'm the best. I did it. When I look back at my Brendan video at his event, I could have done better. I can always do better. I look at it, and even though people loved it and standing ovation at the end, and Brendan was freaking out and he loved it, I look at it and see all the holes, all the places where I could have been stronger, could have had more energy, could have been better. And if I was doing that speech in a smaller group, it would have been better. If I was doing that speech just to a camera with nobody in the room, it would have been way better. Because I would have been able to practice it over and over and over again until it was perfect. But I'm really proud of the effort. I was 5 minutes ago, before going on stage, freaking out, having an anxiety attack, forgetting everything I was going to say in front of this massive audience. And I went out and I did it. And so I'm proud of my effort. That's what I want for you too. You have some big ambition. You let go of the fear of failing. You then expect to fail. You expect to suck at the beginning, and you tie your self-worth and you pat yourself on the back, even if you failed, even if you stumbled, even if it sucked. And you say, I did it. I tried my best. Because every day you woke up and you tried your best, I promise you, you're gonna get amazing results.
Rule number 6, do what you love.
Burnout is real, but I think most burnout happens because people are not doing the thing that they actually love doing. It's not just about being busy and keeping your mind occupied all day. You can be busy and hate your life and get burnt out. If I was an accountant, I would hate my life and burn out in a day because I don't like being an accountant. But doing this thing that I love, I put in way more effort, way more work, and I love it. It's been 10 plus years of still having my YouTube channel, and I'm not burnt out. If anything, I'm pushing harder than ever before because I love it. And so I think it's not just about being busy, it's about being busy on the thing that is your mission for life. Now, compassion fatigue is a thing. Doing it so much that you burn out yourself is possible. But again, that is not why most people are burning out. Most people, I believe, are burning out because they're spending too much time, too much energy, too much effort doing things that they hate. And if you wake up and hate your life and hate the job you're about to go to, then there's no wonder why you feel like you're burning out. So I recently came back from going to Tony Robbins' event in Dallas. He invited me to sit in the front row, and super blessed and grateful to have Tony's support. And I went there with Alex, friend of the channel, who helps me run Toronto Dance Salsa. And we were on a super crunch timeline because Alex was teaching classes the evening before we left and then the day of the last event. And we rushed down there. Alex was flying in just to get to the event. He's late on the first day. We're rushing to leave on the last day. And it's nonstop. If you've been to a Tony Robbins event, it's all day, all night. It's 8 in the morning to midnight, and then up again the next day and doing the same thing. And it's wild and it's fun. It's amazing. And my favorite thing to do whenever I travel is actually meet Believe Nation, meet you guys. And so all through the event, I wear my Believe hoodie, and I'm not wearing Grant stuff. I'm wearing Evan Carmichael stuff with the plane and the Believe on the back, and people are stopping me. And that's actually the best. It doesn't take away from my experience. Tony's often on stage at the top at the beginning of every event saying, hey, I have some friends of mine, you might know them, they might be celebrities, leave them alone, don't talk to them, let them have their own experience. And it always makes me sad when he says that, because for me, meeting you guys, meeting people who recognize me, and that's a group that I over-index because people who watch Tony videos, they're probably gonna find my content. I like it more when people come and say hi. It adds to the experience for me. And then on the last day, before we rushed out to go to the airport, I set up a meetup, right? I had an hour open before having to get to the airport. So let's do a meetup. Let's do a local Dallas, Richardson, Texas meetup, right? And it could have spent the time doing something else or sleeping in or writing my book or doing anything else. But it's not burnout for me. Like, that fuels me. That gives me more energy. I love it. Hanging out with Believe Nation gives me more energy than it takes away. And I then took an Uber to get to the airport, and the guy who drove the Uber was actually in the meetup in Richardson. He's like, I gotta leave early because I gotta start my job. Okay, great. And then I book an Uber, and there he is. A total fluke, but amazing. And so it's a lot of work. I was all day, all night, not connecting with my team, not doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing, and then I still make time to be with people and make a 1 hour meetup because that hour was open, and it fuels me. But if it was something that I hated, just that half an hour, just 15 minutes, I'd start to feel like I'm burning out, like I don't want to be here, like this is terrible. And so I think it's really important that you're doing work that you love. That would be a burnout for other people, but not a burnout for you because you love it so much. So how do you find it? How do you find the work that you love? I got a 3-step process called Who, Why, How. I'm going to talk about it in depth in my next book, but let's do a super quick analysis here to help you guys who might be struggling. Step number 1 is who. So your who is your most important core value. What is your most important core value as a human being? Mine is believe. It's a one-word most important core value for me. So when you figure out what it is that you stand for as a human, you can then look at your life and see where you're falling short. If you're unhappy with life, it's because you are living incongruently with your most important core value. So someone whose core value is freedom, as an example, you can look at your life. Like, are you allowed to be free? Are you free at work? Are you free in your relationships? Are you free, in these different areas? If not, then you're not going to be happy. That's why you're not happy. Because your boss doesn't allow you to have freedom. Mine is believe. So believe has to be in everything that I touch. If there's a situation that's lacking believe, I'm not going to be happy with it. So that just gives you already an indication of who you are and starts to make sense of your life going backwards and allows you to plan it better going forward. So it's one of the most important exercises I think anybody can do. Figure out what your who is. Who, I, how. Step 2 is why. So why is your purpose? Your purpose comes from your pain. Your purpose comes from the deepest, darkest, most painful moment in your life. Whatever that was, your purpose is to help other people who are currently going through that thing. Whatever you struggled with, suffered with, endured, felt like you never want to wish that on your worst enemy, never want to go back and experience again that pain. That's what I'm talking about. You want to help other people who are currently going through that pain, because there's a lot of people who are currently going through that thing. Who you were X number of years ago, there's a lot of people who are currently like that right now. That's who you want to help for life. That'll never get old. That's your purpose for life. I want to help entrepreneurs for life. I believe in entrepreneurs for life because I struggled so much as an entrepreneur, and I want to make the path a little bit easier for everybody else. So that's your why. And your who and your why are constant. They never change. Your core values and your purpose are for life, and that's amazing. The last step is how. Who, why, how. How is your passion. How is how you got out of the pain that you're in. So you struggled with something. How did you get out of it? You may not be fully out of it. Maybe you're still on your journey out of it, but you're further ahead than you used to be. How did you get out of it? Did you read books? Did you watch videos? Did you meditate? Did you walk your dogs? Did you listen to music? Like, how did you get out of it? How did you get out of it? And that is a recipe that you can teach other people. How you got out of it was not some random one-off situation. You can teach other people. So I struggled a lot with my business. I felt worthless as a human. I wanted to quit. I told my partner that I quit. How I got out of it was modeling success. I looked at Bill Gates, how he started Microsoft, and I applied those strategies to my business, and we started to see some success. 20 years later, what am I doing? Still modeling success. Right? I want to learn from Grant. I want to learn from Steve. I want to learn from Kanye. I want to learn from these people. It's why I keep creating this content. How I got out of it was studying success, and now I teach other people how to study success. Right? How you actually go about doing it may change. When I first started doing it 20 years ago, it was through books. Right? Now it's through videos. And in 10 years, 20 years, it's going to be through VR and a bunch of other technologies that I'm sure are coming. But the how you got out is a teachable recipe that you can give to other people. So if you're struggling with burnout and you think it's because you don't love the work that you're doing, and you know that you're destined for something greater, that you do have Michael Jordan level talent at something, but you don't know what it is and you want to figure it out, figure it out. This is the process. This is the easiest process I know of to get there. Figure out your who, your one word most important core value. Figure out your why, your purpose comes from your pain, and figure out your how, which is your passion, how you got out of it. You can teach other people, and that will set you up for an amazing life with hopefully very little burnout and definitely a lot of purpose.
Rule number 7, the last one before our very special bonus clip, structure your life.
Most people never hit their goals because they don't structure their life towards actually accomplishing those goals. You can say that you want something. You can say that this is your ambition and your goal, but unless it's in your calendar, unless you start actually working towards it, you're never going to accomplish it. Dreams stay dreams because there is no momentum. Let's talk about how to get it. One of the common questions I get asked when I'm doing my live stream, when I'm doing my interviews, when I'm doing my tour, my stops, people almost always will ask me, how many hours sleep do you get? When you go to bed, when you get up, how much do you sleep every night? Right now, I'm sleeping 9 hours a day. I sleep 9 hours. I did a sleep study. I was sleeping around 8 and was still tired when I woke up. And so I went and did an overnight sleep study, and they told me, I'm looking for the hack. I'm like, hey, you're deficient in magnesium, so just take these and then you can sleep 7 and be normal. He said, no, nothing wrong with you. You just need to sleep 9 hours a night. That's healthy for you. It's like, what? That's healthy? Are you kidding me? What are you talking about? Nobody sleeps 9 hours a night. It's like, yeah, between 6 and 10 is actually, that's the normal range. The whole 8 hours a night is a myth. So I felt bad, and I'm still trying to hack it. So I sleep 9 hours a night. I don't wake up to an alarm. And people assume that I'm only sleeping 3, 4, or 5 hours a night because of how productive I am during the day. This is it, right? You could sleep 12 hours a night and crush it in the other 12 hours. Most people default to thinking they need to wake up an hour early. Say, well, if I wake up at 5 a.m. or at 4 a.m., I'm gonna be more productive. If you are not productive for 16 hours a day, then adding an extra hour to that's not gonna make you that much more productive. The problem isn't what time you wake up, the problem is what you're doing with the hours that you're awake. And so as much as possible, what I try to do is make every second intentional. I'm not always able to achieve that, especially not every second, but I try to make everything intentional. I try to make where I'm spending time is intentional. I'm in the present. I'm not thinking about something else. I'm here with you guys making this video right now. All I think about is this video that I'm making for you right now. Where's Nina right now? I don't know. Where's my cell phone? Well, it's right here because I can see it. But where are my keys? I don't know. Where are my dogs? I don't know. What am I doing after this? I have no idea. I'm focused and I'm with you right now. Most people live in the past. Most people are thinking about what could have been. Most people are regretting the decisions that they made, and they're procrastinating because they're afraid of doing things, because they don't want to do things. All things that prevent you from actually doing. That's the biggest problem. You're a genius. You're the best in the world at something. You can go off and make amazing things. The problem is your time is not being used efficiently. It's not being used effectively either. You haven't structured your life to help you accomplish your goals. Look at your big goals. Look at your big goals. Like, what's the next big goal that you have for yourself? You may not have one. If you don't have one, then you got to figure out what your purpose is, because that's the greatest thing of all time, right? Get the book, Built to Serve. You'll figure it out. You'll be ignited. But your next big goal, now look at your calendar. Are you aligning what's in your calendar, your daily habits, towards you accomplishing your goals? And for most people, it's no. Or you have it listed, but you're not doing it because you look at it and you get afraid and you procrastinate on it. So trying to cut that down to almost zero. Even before making these videos, before making expressive videos, I have a couple minutes of procrastination. I go and make sure I get my water. I go and maybe have a keto bar, just pacing around a little bit because I'm nervous about making the videos because I want them to be the best videos that I've ever made. It's always my intention. But too many people live in hours or days or months of procrastination instead of doing it. You get the results by doing it. It's the only way. You will never get the results by just thinking about it. You can be motivated, amazing, you can have the mindset, awesome. That's half the equation. The other half is doing. You have to actually just go out there and do. You need to structure your life to allow you to accomplish your goals. I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that will help. Step number 1 is start with the mission and work backwards. So the mission is lifetime. The mission is lifetime, not what specifically you're gonna be doing, but your purpose comes from your pain. We've talked about that a lot on this channel. I love helping entrepreneurs because I struggled so much as an entrepreneur. Whoever you used to be, where you struggled and felt the most worthless, you will love helping those people for the rest of your life. That will never get old. How you do it will change a lot. Right now I'm doing it through YouTube videos, I'm doing it through books, I'm doing it through my tours, all of that. But it's gonna change. In 10 years, it'll be different. Maybe YouTube's not around. Maybe people don't have paper books anymore. You know, there's gonna be lots of changes that come. But that mission, that purpose will never change. It will never change. And when you figure out what it is for you, it will never change as well. So start with your mission and then you start working backwards. Step number 2 is understand that your success is habits. Your success is habits. What you do on a regular basis is what you're going to accomplish. You can eat a chocolate bar and be on a diet and not get fat. But if you're eating a chocolate bar every day, you're gonna get fat. You're not on a diet anymore. Similarly, if you eat salad once a week, it's not enough, right? You are what you consistently do. Your success comes from doing habits. And entrepreneurs are typically great starters, but not great at being consistent. And that's the problem. Working your face off for a 48-hour stretch isn't gonna do anything for you. It's every single day working, even if it's only an hour a day. That dream that you have, that business that you wanted to start, that business that you want to take to the next level, it could be there. It could have been there already. It could have been there already. The problem is you've been sitting on that idea for 3 months, 6 months, 4 years without doing enough on it. Little tiny starts, it's not enough. Every day, I'm talking every single day, making progress towards you actually accomplishing that thing. You want that life? You have to do it every day. And step number 3 is no 10-year goals. Now, what was interesting in this video is Jordan first talks about having a 3-year goal for yourself. And then he said for himself, he can't plan for more than 6 months because his life is too chaotic and too much stuff going on. I think that's actually the sign of a healthy life. Like, there's no way you know where you're gonna be in 3 years. There's no way you're gonna know where you're gonna be in 10 years. That's crazy, but 3 years is crazy too. There's no way. I'm about to leave on my tour from January to April 2020, and I'm gonna come back a different person. In April, I'm gonna be a different person than when I left, when I'm about to leave, coming up now, right? So I don't know what I'm gonna be doing after that. I have no idea. I mean, it's still gonna be within the confines of my mission, right? I'm still gonna be doing work to help entrepreneurs. So maybe I come back and say, I don't wanna do YouTube anymore. That's it, I'm done. Enjoy these last videos, and I'm gonna move on and do something else, right? So I don't think you can have an accurate 3-year plan. Don't even try. People get stressed out about having the perfect 3-year plan. There's no way. Like, if you hate your 3-year plan, you're thinking small. The idea, like, think of who you were 3 years ago, right? Let alone 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Just take 3 years ago. Who you were 3 years ago. Could you accurately predict where you are right now? There's no way. Not if you're growing. Like Jordan said, he starts off saying 3-year plan and then goes down and says, well, I can only do only 6 months. I think that should be normal. Like I think 6 months should be the very end. 6 months should be the very upper limit. If you're growing, if you're learning, if you're investing into yourself. But if you are a different person than you were 3 years ago, what makes you think with any degree of confidence that you're gonna be able to predict your life 3 years out? There's no way. You can't. So don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. Don't sit there and have this plan for the next 3 years. You're not gonna hit that plan. That's not your goal. Your goal is to move closer to your mission. And you have to be flexible enough to take the opportunities as they come. I was talking to Jeremy, who's working with me on my YouTube business and consulting and coaching people to help them grow. And he was asking me about New Year's resolutions. Like, I don't do New Year's resolutions. You're crazy. You think you know where you're gonna be next year? There's no way. First off, New Year's resolutions I hate because if it's December 22nd and you're setting a New Year's resolution, I think you suck. You're teaching yourself that you suck. You don't suck as a human. The mindset that you're telling yourself is that you suck. Whenever you say, I have a goal that's really important to me, but I'm gonna start it in a week, or I'm gonna start it on Monday, or I'm gonna start it when you've already lost. The mind game here is you suck. That's what you're telling yourself. I suck. The only way through is I'm gonna start today. You wanna start 2020 or next year and have perfect health? Great, you start today. Get on the floor, do 10 push-ups, do whatever max you can do. Eat a salad, like you start today. Build momentum, you're missing momentum. So he asked me, what's my 2020 resolution? I don't have a, dude, don't think that way. If I even had an idea for what I was gonna do, I would be doing it right now. Right now, right now. But then on top of that, like, look at your life. Look at where you were last year. Look at where you were at the start of this year, right? 2019. Where were you at the start of 2019? You were at a grocery store. And then I called you when I was on the road in Texas and said, hey, do you want to start a YouTube consulting business together? And I'll teach you everything I know. You couldn't predict that. You could have had this perfect plan for how you're gonna move up and become a manager at this grocery store, right? Instead, now he's running his own business and he's got a 6-figure business inside of 6 months from not knowing anything about it because of mentorship and training and connections and resources and ideas. And he's getting great results for his clients, right? If you're growing and learning and exposing yourself to new opportunities, you'll be it's like you're shedding your skin and you're a new person every 6 months at the very max. So I agree with Jordan that 6 months should be the max and that 3 years, don't even try. Don't even worry about it, let alone 5 years, let alone 10 years. Go do you. You're growing, you're learning, you're amazing. Stop trying to plan for where you're gonna be in 10 years. Make it happen today.
Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you just get inspired, you watch a video, you get motivated, amazing. The science says you have a 35% chance of actually doing something, actually following through. That, Believe Nation, is not enough. That is not you, not now, not anymore, not today. But when you get inspired and then you create a specific plan of action for what you're gonna do, that number jumps to 91% chance of you following through. And when you commit publicly to others, like leaving a comment in this video, it jumps to 95%. So the question of the day is your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week. Put it down in the comments below, and maybe next week I'll profile you.
You need to do things that make you proud of yourself. You need to do the difficult things. When it's hard and you do it and you try and you keep going, that's when you feel proud about yourself. When you quit early, even if everybody gives you a logical reason for doing it, say, hey, it's okay, don't worry about it, quit. You should quit. Take it easy. But you know deep down inside yourself, you can't quit. You have to do the work that makes you feel proud, because if you face difficulties and then quit, that's what you're teaching yourself. That's the story inside your head. And there's no way you're gonna go off and accomplish those big, bad, impossible dream goals of yours if you quit every time it gets hard. I had a guy come to my Columbus workshop and he had a goal to do 6 days a week cold showers. It was Friday night. Saturday night was his day off from cold showers. It was Friday night he comes to my workshop and he says, it's been winter here in Columbus. I'm at my girlfriend's house all day today. It's been freezing. I've been inside the house. It's been freezing all day. I didn't do my cold shower today. Evan, what should I do? Should I take my cold shower? I said, well, are you proud of the reason why not? Are you proud of the reason that you're in a cold house all day and so that's good justification for you? I said, no, I'm not proud of the reason. Great, then you have to do it. You have to go take your cold shower. And after the workshop, he got home at 11:30 at night and he took an Instagram video from the waist up, getting into the cold shower and freezing his face off. And then I said, you have to go off and do it again tomorrow too. Even though Saturday's your day off, you have to get up and do it again tomorrow, just to show yourself, just to prove to yourself what you're made of. When it's difficult and you try, that's when you win. That's when you actually feel good about yourself, when it's difficult and you keep going. Even if the results suck, even if past the 40%, your results are starting to decline. You feel great about yourself because you kept going. But if you quit as soon as it gets hard, that's what you're teaching yourself to do. And so I see entrepreneurs and leaders as trees. You're a tree. Your responsibility as a tree is to eat poison, carbon dioxide, right? You eat poison. You eat it, you grow from it, and then you spit out positivity and oxygen for the people around you, right? For yourself and the people around you. You grow from it. Your job is to eat adversity. Your job is to eat judgment. Your job is to eat difficulties. And you grow from it. And then you create opportunities and possibilities for yourself and the people around you. That's your job. And so the next time that you find yourself in a difficult situation, you want to quit, you want to give up, you're at that mark, your brain wants to quit on you, remind yourself, I'm a tree. I'm a tree. I'm going to grow from this. This is my chance to get better. This is my chance to eat it, to grow from it, and then create possibilities for other people. That's your job if you want to be an amazing leader and an amazing entrepreneur. And I'm cheering for you.
If you want to learn the skill that you need to succeed, check out the video next to me. I think you're going to enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
You are spending way too much time on things that you hate doing, that you never want to be great at, and it's hurting your business.